Hello and welcome. You're listening to Start Again with Shauna Lee, the place where you will be reminded that it's never too late and you're never too old to do the damn thing. So stick around if you're ready to vibe higher and be inspired to chase your dreams. Together, we will uncover your soul's truest desires. Now, if you're ready, let's get started. Today, I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to introduce you today to the three owners of Hometown Gifts and Decor. It is a super cute gift shop in downtown Round Rock that if you have not been to in person, you must go visit. It is amazing. And these ladies agreed to come on today and chat a little bit about their Start Again stories because we are actually hosting an event together, which we will talk about later. But ladies, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So I'm going to give you each an opportunity to give a brief little intro to who you are and how you identify as a Start Again queen.
Well, this is Jessica talking. So I am one of the three, and kind of this whole thing came about. I guess, do you want the whole backstory? Because that's like
I would love to hear the backstory.
Okay, so I guess it's started, the idea of the store kind of started back in the end of 2019, pre-COVID. And then it was just more of an idea in the clouds kind of thing between me and my husband. Like, I didn't really share it with anybody. It was just this idea of wanting to have a little shop in Round Rock. And then fast forward 2020 pandemic, we're all home, that's when, the itch was like, I need to do something more for me, but I'll touch on more of that later. But really the start of the business came when this house went on the market, and that was in 2021 and right around the spring. And it was kind of funny because the three of us were at a wedding together, and I ended up sharing. It was really at that point, it was just like this interest that I had, but nothing was going to happen because there was no real estate for it. And it was about a week after that this house went on the market. Once the house went on the market, and my husband and I fell in love with this beautiful historic home, I called Celise and Amber, and they saw the house before anything was done to it, of course. And, just kind of presented this business plan with them, and they all agreed that this sounded like a really fun, exciting, next step for all three of us. And we just kind of quickly got to work, did all the things. And fast forward into September of last year is when we closed and started getting work, started working on the house remodel. And then January of this year, went to market and started getting our inventory, and then opened in April. So that's kind of the gist of how it all came about, right?
Well, I love that personally. I love the background just because I love your store, and I had really no idea of the time frame that went into revamping that entire space in just a course of a few months is pretty impressive.
Yes, I know. We talk about it. Sometimes we're like, how did that happen? Like, how did we do that? We weren't thinking, we just try not to think about this grand opening date. My husband, Freddie, who, we purchased the home obviously together, he's the one that was like, okay, so what's the grand opening date? And we're like, 2023? I don't know. Yeah. We were like, he was like, nope, there's got to be an opening. And so we just pushed, and worked really, really hard. And I don't know how we did it, to be honest with you.
Well, congratulations to all three of you, because I think the store is beautiful.
Thank you.
Job well done. So, Jessica, I guess since you were talking, why don't we do a quick little intro of you personally and how you identify as a Start Again queen, although we're getting a sense of that already.
A little about me. Grew up in the Dallas area. Parents been married, my whole life. Very normal, middle-class family, good upbringing, all that jazz. Went off to college, studied in school marketing, and did that for a little while in my 20s, and then met my husband, fast forward, when we had our second child, we decided I wanted to be home. My husband supported that, and we have 4 kiddos. And so I've just spent the last 12 years being a stay-at-home mom. Doing book reading. I said book readings. What is it?
Well, you read a lot of books. Book club.
Story time. Okay. I was like, what am I trying to say? Story time, the library, and mom groups, and all the things. And loved being a stay-at-home mom. But by the time we had our youngest, I don't know. I had an itch to work and get back to doing something. I just didn't know what that would be for me. My husband has his own business. I tried, working with him, and it's just doing marketing, that kind of thing. But I don't know. I didn't feel like that was it, and then of course, mom responsibilities, always takes over. And I don't know, like we were just talking about this before we got on the call, but like right during like the pandemic, I don't even say I was not happy. I mean, I was happy, but I just felt like something's missing. I know with stay-at-home moms, you tend to get lost in who you are after a while. You forget what I'm really good at or what I'm really capable at. Yeah, I'm a good mom. And yes, I know I can do these things, but I just knew there was more. I just didn't know what the heck it was.
Yeah.
So this opportunity has, I feel like, I don't know if it's like start again. It's just starting fresh and new. Like I'm gonna just, I don't know. I'm proud of myself. I'm obviously beyond proud of Celise and Amber, just knowing that like you can come into this business, into any business, if it's something that you really are drawn to and you have a good support system, you can do it.
Yeah. I love it. Well, that's perfect. And then Celise, what about you? Give us a quick little intro to who you are and how you identify as a Start Again Queen.
Okay. My name is Celise, and I lived in Texas almost 17 years, Round Rock area for 12. I'm originally from California, born and raised there. But we've migrated. We're some of the migrators, the Californians coming into Texas. But
yes.
We got here before it was cool to do that. So,
That's awesome.
So we have one son who's 12, and I had also, similar to Jessica, been a stay-at-home mom, but had kind of dabbled in teaching off and on preschool and then some substitute teaching at the preschool. And I really did enjoy them, but it was sort of exhausting to juggle that and being a mom and being involved with my son's school and everything else that was going on. So
for sure.
So I kind of would just help out. I also sort of saw that as my charity work because, you're not in it for the money. So anyhow, but I did enjoy it. And I taught in Dallas for 5 years. I taught kindergarten, and I absolutely loved that. But so it was hard to juggle all of that. And then Jessica approached me, and I was kind of in a similar state where I was like, gosh, I haven't really thought about what I want to do when I grow up. And I thought, this sounds cool. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know, I have a clue, never run a store, and nothing, So it was really just sort of a leap of faith. And like Jessica touched on too, just having the support of partners and our significant others, really inspired us to push forward and take this leap of faith. And we feel, that it's paying off. So we're still learning every day, still learning a lot, and continuing to learn. But it's been a very rewarding experience. So
yeah,
I don't know how to say Start Again Queen either, but I guess just having the confidence, I guess, to jump into something like this, having had no experience in this field. Yep. So.
Well, I think that is the epitome of what I refer to when I say a Start Again Queen is this woman who has the courage to do something new that she's never done before later in her life when she feels like, oh my God, am I too old to do this thing? Oh, is it too late for me to start something new? Like that to me is a Start Again Queen, which you all have embodied. Yeah, except we have not heard from Amber yet. So I would love to hear Amber's side of the story.
Hi. Well, I I've been here for 10 years. My husband and I grew up in Seattle, and it'll sound really funny to say this, but we did move here for the weather. You kind of question your judgment in the summer, but in Seattle, it's always gray. It's rainy. You get really used to it. I have no problem going outside in the rain now. And
yeah, my oldest daughter actually lives in Seattle, and she is not a fan of the cold or the wet weather, and so she's got both. But she said the same thing. You kind of just get used to it.
You do get used to it. When I did move here, one kind of quirky thing that was really hard for me to get over was looking people in the eye, because when you're in Seattle, you're outside, you're looking down because you're trying to keep the rain off your head, and you don't use an umbrella because then, only the new folks in town or the visitors use umbrellas. And
Interesting.
So I always looked at the ground, and then when I got here, I thought, oh my gosh, everyone looks at you in the eye. It's very different. It's very,
and they want to hug you.
And they want to hug you. Yes.
Yes.
So it took a little getting used to. But we love it here. We have 4 kids. Our oldest is 26. We have a 22-year-old, and then a 14 and a 12-year-old. So my 2 little ones have truly grown up here and true Texan. They love it. I did do real estate for a little while, a couple years after we moved here. That really fit me well because I love home. I love the idea of home. I love helping people. I loved at the time helping people find their home. I have a lot of patience, so I was willing to wait it out. It could take 2 days. It could take, 2 years, but.
Listen, that is never a phrase that I have said about myself, that I have a lot of patience. That is
Yes, I will say that I am incredibly patient. And it's good. It's good. Sometimes it's a little too patient, but I've learned also how to kind of push and get things moving if I need to. But yeah, I am patient. But so when Gus came to me and Celise with this idea and the name, I think really I just was like, this is ideal. This name, this hometown, this is really what I am all about. I love being at home, and I don't have multiple homes, so I don't get to decorate any home anytime. But getting to be here and do what I get to do at the store is a dream come true. I didn't know what form it would be in. This is honestly, when they say, oh, it's way better than I would have ever imagined, that is true.
That is awesome. Well, that's what I usually say to most people about any kind of new venture, is it usually ends up better than you could have imagined on your own.
Yes. Agreed.
Well, that is awesome. So this was not a prepared question, but I'm just kind of curious. How do you guys determine, with 3 of you owning the store, what does your division of duties look like? I know you kind of swap days and who's in the store, but how did you decide that?
We all kind of sort of fell into our different roles. We've organically, Jessica and Amber, I would say, are really good at buying product and figuring out what they feel our customers would love and what they love, and it really shines through in the store. And then I sort of became the weird numbers nerd in the back that does the unboxing and inventorying. And if you saw my math grades in high school, you would question that. But so it's sort of, I don't know. I'm a very detailed type A, so I do sort of, I get into that stuff. But but then, we all sort of share the load in a lot of other areas, as far as what vendors and things like that. And when we go to the market, we're all doing that together.
It's very much like, and that's a good question, because we didn't even know when we started how that was going to work.
Right.
There was no clear, from my end, I was like, okay, Celise, she always throws really wonderful parties. She's a really good at party planner. She's very thoughtful with her, when she plans events for friends' birthdays or any Christmas and all the things. And so I knew she would have a hand in our event planning for the store, because obviously that's going to be a component. And then Amber, just knowing that she's really good with interior design and layout and display, I knew that would, so I kind of predicted those, but the rest of it, it really was an organic the way it all happened. I mean, I think when we went to market the first time, we were like deer in headlights, you know, and
Sure.
we all three, when we go to market together twice a year at least, that's, you know, it's very much a collaboration. But then once we started steamrolling ahead, you know, a lot of that fell on me, but I'm like, okay, what do y'all think of this? Or go check out the cart. I filled it up. What do you think? You know? And so that all kind of happened. And with Celise handling a lot of the inventory, I mean, I try to help there, and it scares me. So.
Inventory too. Like we all do.
Oh,
we all do
Amber
a little bit.
Yeah, everybody kind of shit. It's good for all of us to know how to do a little of everything, but it also, you don't accomplish a lot. It really is easier when someone leads certain tasks, you know, and
Yeah, for sure.
you know, I mean, my husband's has a business and he has partners. He's the one that encouraged that from the beginning with this. It's like, you need to have partners. And oh my gosh, so when we say this all the time, it's like, so glad we have each other. Not only is it relieves our time commitments here because we all have children, but it's just fun, you know. It's fun to go on these, you know, when we go to market, even if it's stressful, we have fun and just to bounce off ideas. If I'm not sure about something, then they're sure about it, same vice versa. So it just works.
That's awesome. And so what do you think, and I'll leave it up to you, which of you would like to answer, or all of you, it doesn't matter. What do you think is the most inspiring part of this hometown story?
Besides just saying the simple reply of all of it, we went into this knowing absolutely nothing except that this has a lot of potential. There's definitely a need in the town, and everyone that we would talk to about it just said, oh yes, this would be amazing. Please do this. And how do you do this? I think because we had never done anything like this and we all came from such different education and experiences, we had no preconceived ideas or baggage to come with us. And so we could honestly just kind of come together and collaborate and create something amazing of what we thought would be needed, and what we just liked ourselves. So we didn't follow a model per se, and maybe that was beneficial because we didn't put up barriers. We didn't really put up boundaries for ourselves. And that actually allowed us to be really free, and kind of one of us had an idea, then you were free to do it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm loving the story so far. To switch gears slightly, if you were to look at the journey thus far, what do you think is the most surprising challenge you faced, and how did you all overcome it?
That's hard. We actually talked about this question before our call. Mm-hmm.
Maybe the surprising challenge was that we had no experience.
Yeah, I think so. The surprising part of that is, like, we knew everything was a challenge. Everything, like, you know, knowing when you go to market, like all the terminology, all the retail, you know, lingo, and how much to buy of things, and every single thing that goes into running a store, we had to learn, and those were all challenges. You know, setting up the cash strap, checkout, you know, the iPad, all these little things. How does it all work together? How's it all of these things were challenges, and we just, like, you know, worked through each one and figured it out. So I think the surprising part of it is that we just did it. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just that the confidence just grew, you know, when we first went. I mean, sure. You know, when we bought the house, I was kind of freaking out because I was like, okay, I said I wanted this, and now we're doing it, and now I'm terrified that.
Yeah. Girl, this has happened to me every single time I've taken a giant leap.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing the thing, and I'm like, oh God. I think I always have that moment of, holy shit, it's actually happening. Now what?
Now what? Now I have to do it.
Yes.
You know? I cried when the sign went on the side of the building. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like real.
Yes.
And that was like a month before the store opened. But I was just like, oh my, I was there's been moments of like, oh my gosh. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's just all of the challenges. But now I think the confidence, I mean, every day we make mistakes, every day we learn. But we know like, okay, we figured that one thing out and we did it and we're doing good, and just all the little things, we're figuring it out little by little.
Well, and I love that because each time I have one of these interviews, I feel like that's the value I'm providing in these conversations is bringing that to light, that people all over are doing things that they have no idea how to do, and they're just jumping in and doing it. And the more you figure out one little thing at a time, the more your confidence builds, and then you can believe in your ability to do the next thing that you don't know how to do.
That's right. That's so true. Yeah. Because that was, and like Amber was saying that before, it's not like I don't know, there was never like, I was terrified more of just like, okay, now I really got to do this. And there is that moment of fear of like, what if I don't know how to do this right? But that's quickly diminished. I mean, like soon as we started really moving ahead and planning things, I don't know. I never really questioned that this is going to be great. I don't know what it's going to look. We were like, I don't know what this is going to look like at the end when we open our doors, but I was confident in all of our ability to make it work. I
think it looks beautiful. So I think you guys have done a great job. Okay, so this next question I have for, I'd love each of you to answer it because I love the wisdom that comes out of this in every single answer that I hear. So it's quickly become one of my favorites. What advice would you give to the younger you?
I think I would say you're smarter than you think you are.
Oh, I love that.
And, to relax a little bit. And it will be okay. Everything will be okay.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And that is so 100% true.
Yeah. I like that. I think main for me is not worrying about what people think. That I've always kind of struggled with that, maybe because I'm just like I'm a people pleaser and I don't like people to not like me. I very hurt if I know like I hurt somebody. So so part of that is just like, don't worry about it. Like if you feel confident you can do something, just do it, and don't. If there's people out there or people in your life that are making you question something that you feel good about, then those aren't people you want to be around anyway.
No. One of the things I heard recently, and I have to remind myself of this often because I'm the same way. I worry way too much about what other people think. Was don't take advice from someone who hasn't done what you're trying to do. And I thought, well, if that doesn't narrow out like a bunch of the noise out, like that for me was a good way to validate how much I should hold on to someone else's opinion, which most of the time is not at all, but sometimes, input and feedback is important. So for me to be able to kind of qualify that way was really, really helpful for the people pleaser in me.
That's great advice. I'll remember that. That's good.
That's a good one. It's such a good question. And everyone's answers are so, there's themes and there's some repeats, but everyone's are so different, but they're all good. I love it. Okay, so you guys are fairly new in this adventure of yours, but where are you going from here? What's next for each of you?
Well, for the store, since we are so new, it's not like our store's been around for 5 years or we're so new. So really our main focus going forward outside of these 4 walls is to grow our online business. That's been requested on a daily basis from people, especially we get a lot of visitors or people that come in town regularly to see family. They're like, when are you going to be online? So that is something we're working towards. It's kind of like, it's just no different than the store, that we want to make sure when we launch something like that, we're ready and it's good. So we're kind of taking our time with it, but we hope to have that. That's the next big thing for the business, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Personally, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. My kids are 23, 15, 12, and 5. So outside of the store, it's my life is their interests. So, you know, like you, Shauna, it's all the football games and dance stuff and karate or whatever they're all doing. And then really just traveling as a family. We like to travel. So hopefully more of that too.
Oh, I'm always asking other people in their travels because I also love to travel. But where do you guys have envisioned next as a family to go?
Oh gosh, we have talked about for next year maybe doing a Hawaii trip because the kids haven't been to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's a great place.
That's a great. Yeah, my husband and I've been, but the kids have not. So, and we do like to go to Colombia because my husband has family there, and his family's from there.
Oh, fun!
We might go there next year. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Never have been there.
Okay.
Okay, so Amber, for you. Oh, wait. Is Celise back?
Celise is sorry.
Celise is back.
Yeah. So
hooray!
You have to answer the last question that we answered.
Yes. Which was, what advice would you give to the younger you?
Oh, geez.
Oh, geez.
I would just say, like, just go for it. Like, be confident in yourself. Don't doubt yourself so much. Don't be so negative. That's you know, unfortunately one of my character flaws of many. But just trusting, you know, that it's possible. So
I love it.
Yeah.
See, I told you everyone's answers are so good and so different.
That's good.
That's awesome. Okay, so then while we have you, Celise, where are you going from here? What's next for you personally?
Oh, personally? Oh, geez.
Where are you going?
No.
I want to know the answer. Where are you going? You're hoping not being here.
Yeah, no, I'll be here at the store, personally. And then, just, we are building a little lake property. It's been a dream of my husband's. He grew up on a lake and going to a lake, and that's kind of where they spent all their family vacations and stuff. So we're in the process of doing that.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of a big dream, big goal that he's had. I'm just kind of along for the ride. But yeah, and then just really just trying to figure out how we do more events and stuff here and make those successful.
Yes.
A lot of inquiries for people that want to use our space for private events and stuff like that. So just kind of figuring out where do we go from here with that too. So
yes, which I'm going to circle back to because obviously we are having an event that we're co-hosting together. But before we do that, Amber, where are you going next personally? What's next for you?
Well, that is actually probably something I need to think more about. I tend to just focus on the daily, and I don't really think so much of, like, where are you 5 years from now?
Yeah.
And when I do have the thoughts of what's next, it most of the time now pertains to the store. It really does.
Yeah.
Because I think I just identify so much with Hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll definitely be here. And I think that because my little ones are 12 and 14, and I also have I call them batches. So my first batch, like, I can see what that looks like. So I focus on where they're going, my little two, and now I see what that looks like. So I
can totally relate to that because I have 2 and 2. I've got 4 as well, but I've got my bigs and my littles because I've got 13 years in between the two. So there's a big span, right? So I've got my older 2, the fully completed launched ones, and then I've got the little ones who are still at home. So my bigs and my littles, I totally can relate to that.
That's funny.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I do, for them, I just focus on what, like, finishing forming them and getting them ready for their world. And for me, I'm excited. I don't know what it looks like here because things almost daily change and grow here at Hometown, and it's keeping up, and I don't always know what the entire path ahead looks like, but as long as I can see the next step, then I can keep going.
That is exactly. So I've always struggled a little bit with that interview question where they say, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I have a hard time with the long-term view as well. Like, I know I've got some big goals for myself, but for me, I always say baby steps are better than no steps. And so seeing the next step or two on the path is usually enough to just keep me motivated and working towards that, longer term goal. But the 5-year one is a struggle for me as well. Like, I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years. It'll be great. It'll all work out.
Honestly, if I had to say a 5-year plan for me, it would probably not actually compare. It might end up being, I would think it's smaller than it's actually going to be. So I don't even want to project that far because I can tend to put a limit on things. And I'm standing something that's really way bigger than I would have thought. So.
Oh, I love that. That's a great way to look at it. Okay, so let's circle back to what Celise said, because I do want to hear more about how you guys are envisioning your events and kind of building out that aspect of the store. I'm super excited about the event we're hosting there, but maybe we could hear kind of what you guys have envisioned for what those look like.
Yes, so we just went through our October calendar.
Here's our calendar, Shauna.
Oh my, it's full, guys. It is completely full.
Yeah. So we're having another vendor market, which was super successful this month. We'll have the same thing for October, where we invite local artisans to come in and sell their goods out front of the store, and then have some fun family opportunities as well. And then we're going to have happy hours where we stay open later during the holidays so people can get their holiday shopping done after hours.
Yeah, so smart.
We're hoping to combine with some other boutiques in the area for a Rockin' Around the Rock Christmas shopping event.
Oh, fun.
Yes, right before Thanksgiving.
I love that.
Kind of a boutique crawl.
Oh my goodness. I am excited about that personally.
I know. We're excited to tell people, but we got to solidify more details. But that'll be coming up in November. And then, just other fun things. People, it's just been hot, so we haven't been able to use our outside space. So we're excited to
my fingers are crossed that the weather cooperates and we get to use that space for the event that we're hosting there.
Yes, we're excited about that.
I am excited about just being able to get out in front of people, and the reason I really wanted to have you guys all come on was because I wanted to be able to introduce local businesses to my audience, but especially because so many of my podcast guests thus far have been local. I wanted to be able to get out and have those guests come in to the events and have people come and meet them in person. So I'm excited that we'll be able to come to your store. People will be able to do some shopping. They'll get to meet me if they haven't met me already, but also meet you guys. So I'm super excited about it.
So are we. It's going to be really fun. Most of our events are always a good time, especially after hours.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Well, so I guess my last question for you guys is, how can people find you? Where would you like them to go?
Well, 400 East Main Street is our location.
Yep.
We're here Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5. I know people try to come here on Mondays. A few people knocked on the door in the last hour. But this is our day to work on other things for the store. So Sunday's a family day.
You can look at our Instagram.
Definitely.
Hometown Gift Decor.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And our Facebook also.
Yes.
And we have our website. It's more of a landing page to get to know us, to read our individual stories and our about our store. And that's shophometownTX.com. But like I said earlier, our online store is coming soon. So stay connected to us and we'll let you know when that's launching.
That is awesome. And I will obviously include all of those links in the show notes so people can go back and reference that. But I know people like to pop over to the social media of their choice when they are at a stoplight, if they're listening to this as they're driving. I like to ask that question. Well, thank you, ladies. Cool. And I'm excited about our event and having all of my audience come out and meet you guys in person.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks for having us on your show. And we hope to see a lot of you listeners at the shop, October 11th.
Okay, listen. Are you struggling to find what your true purpose really is? You should try journaling. At the very least, it will get you to a better feeling place than where you are right now. I've created a set of journal prompts to get you on your way to discovering who you truly are and where you want to go from here. My free download is called Journal Yourself to Joy, and it's available at shaunalee.com under Free Stuff. These are my tried and true journal prompts that will raise your energy, increase your positivity, and brighten your day. Download yours today.